Welcome back to Memory Lane Motorworks and part 2 of the 1966 Pontiac Grand Prix. Part 1, we went over the interior, got it mostly cleaned up, still got some seats to put back in. We did some body work, some hillbilly body work. We did as good with that quarter panel as what we were going to do. Don't worry guys, I got something to show you at the end of the video here. We'll clear up a lot of questions as far as that goes. Tonight, we're doing tune-up work. I got some plugs that I already installed, and I've got some wires on the way for the car. We're going to get it fired up here, see if we can get it running a little better, see what else we need to do. Like I said, this is part 2 of the mini-series that hopefully doesn't turn into a maxi-series. Am I in over my head here? Probably. Let's get started. So as I said here, guys, we got some new plugs installed in the beast. Went with some AC Delcos, which is what I took out, of course. Here's the old ones. They are rich. Put them out in order, how I took them out of the engine. Front cylinder, back cylinder. See, we might have some blow-by issues going on here. I don't know. Regardless, we're going to see how it runs. Some of them are better than others. A decent burn mark to it there. Regardless, it was due. So, like I said, I went to the parts store this evening. Figured they had some wires for an older Pontiac. Of course, they did not. So, got some on the way. Hopefully, they'll be here within the next couple days. I'll be able to put those on. But these don't look in too bad a shape. Regardless, we can run them. So, I think the next step here is, I haven't started this thing in a couple weeks. Let's do a cold start on it, fire it up, and see what we're working with. Still running a little rough, as to be expected. Let's see if we can work with that a little bit here. waiting to see once it warms up if that choke's going to open up or not. We'll have to see. I checked voltage to the choke. We got 11.4 volts at it. We'll give it some time here, see what it does. Well, guys, she's running. Still running a little rough. I'm having some issues with that electric choke. I'm going to dig into that here in a little bit. I think while I got it warmed up, though, next step, I'm going to get the front end up in the air and see if I can crawl underneath it. First off, see what's there. I haven't seen the underneath of this car yet. And while the engine's warmed up, it's a good time to change the oil on it. So we'll get on that here next. Well, I got underneath it. I liked what I saw. Car's pretty clean for an Ohio car anyways. Can't wait to see more. Definitely got a bit of work to do under there, but someday I'll get to use my lift again, and we'll get this thing up in the air and see what we're working with. But I got the oil drained out, got the filter changed, putting some conventional in it now, get it topped off, see where we're at after that. See what we got here. Perfect. So next up, we're going to take care of some tires on this thing. Ones that came on the car are shot, but I got some other ones that came with the car that are shot also, but they're a little less shot than what's on the car. So I'm going to get them off the car, take them up to my buddy's shop, and get those swapped out. We got back with the tires, got them all mounted up. They're in a little better shape than the ones we took off. So far they're holding air anyways, so that's at least a step ahead. I figured while I got the wheels off, I'll try to bleed the brakes. Now, nowadays it's seeming that help's getting a little hard to come by. That's okay. You can bleed brakes by yourself. So I have got a hose hooked up here to a full can of brake fluid. Got my bleeders cracked loose, and guys, 3 out of the 4 bleeders actually broke loose a little heat, which was amazing. It's amazing on something this old that would happen. Went to go do number 4, got behind the brake there, and it had already been snapped off. And you can tell there is vice grip marks on the metal line going into the wheel cylinder. So we all know what that means. Somebody had been there, tried that already, broke the bleeder off, and they were bleeding it by the line already. But I think if I can get 3 out of 4 bled out, well, it's going to stop better than it did. So that's the goal here. Got my reservoir topped off. Got my hose hooked up to the right rear. The left rear was the one that was snapped off already. So if we can get the other 3 working, I'll be a happy camper with that. Let me get set up here and we'll give it a shot. Well, guys, we took a break from our regularly scheduled program here. You get to a point where you get sick of crawling around mice, feces, dirt, grime, and you catch a nice day on a weekend you're off in the middle of November in Ohio. I don't think I've ever used a pressure washer before in November in Ohio. So, got a really nice day here, guys. I decided to take a break, back this thing out, and we're going to spray it down, at least get rid of the first layer of junk off of this thing, and maybe spray down the engine compartment as well. We can kind of see what we're working with a little better. So let's do that. Hey, look, somebody did a burnout. So it's hard to believe that underneath that dirty car with the crappy paint, there was a slightly less dirty car with still crappy paint. But it looks a little better. This electric choke's not working at all. It's froze up. The mechanism's froze up. It's not doing anything. So I'm gonna dig into this here and see what's going on in there. Maybe something just needs lubricated. Maybe it needs rebuilt. Bought a kit off of Amazon. Don't even know if it's the right one or not. Maybe if it's not, we can still use some pieces, parts out of it to fix what's going on here. But won't know till I get this off and see what's going on. So let's do that and go from there. Started digging into the electrical and pop the cap off, and it looks like the contact points on both the rotor and the distributor cap are a little corroded up. So I'm gonna get some sandpaper out and get those cleaned up and see if I can get this thing running a little better. There are no timing marks on the front of this engine, so I have no real way of setting the time in except by ear. I was messing with it a little bit and it's running a little better, but maybe I can get these cleaned up a little bit, put it back together, and we'll see what we got after that. I think the next thing I'm going to try to do is replace this window motor. This would be for the right front. I got the new one in already. The bolt pattern's the same. Got it off of eBay. The only difference I'm seeing is this one's got the gear fixed to it, where this one just came out. It's just got the worm drive right off the motor. And I already tried to get in here, and I don't know if I can get a picture of it or not. Get that gear off of the end of the window regulator, and it's not just wanting to pop off. So I don't know if that's a difference of design or whatnot. I thought about taking the gear off the new motor, but by the looks of those teeth on that gear, they look quite a bit chewed up already anyway. So I think, unfortunately, the only answer is to remove the entire regulator assembly from the door without breaking the glass, because that's not going to make me happy at all. So I think I'll try to take that off first. There's 3 bolts in here holding it on, and remove that whole assembly and see if I can remove the gear then. So yeah, wish me luck. We'll see how this goes. Well, we got it out, and the gear just popped right out after I took the entire tracking window out of the door. So that's great. That would have been really convenient if it would have just done that in the first place, but I guess this is how you learn. So I think what I'm going to do next is get that track assembly back in there and the 10,000 bolts that attach it to the door frame back in, and hopefully witness marks will tell me where exactly those bolts were holding it in. Then get the motor hooked up, lubricate everything, and make sure the track operates up and down as nice as it can, and then put the piece of glass that I managed to not break removing, that I'll probably break installing, back in it again. All right, update, guys. It's literally a couple hours later. That was some engineering there. I've never quite done anything like that before. 0 out of 10 stars. Do not recommend. We got it back together, though, after pulling the regulator in and out and in and out. Then I had to pull the little gear out of the motor and actually put the regulator in a bench vise and tweak it some and set the gear up in there so it would lock in the teeth, and then attach the motor to that, and then the regulator went back in and out of the door channel 4 or 5 more times. And then it came time to put the glass back in, and well, long story short, guys, success. We got it. I think I'm going to end the video there. Well, let's do one more thing. Got the choke operating fine. Car's been sitting for about a week. Let's hit the key on this thing and see if we made any difference at all as far as how it starts up. It is 51 degrees in here. This will be a good test right here. All right, key on. Give her 4. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Remember to hit that like button. Maybe subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I'd really appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next one.